What's up, Dallas Cowboy Nation? It's your boy G from Jersey here, man. And whoa, what a day it was yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys trading defensive tackle Osa Odigizua to the San Francisco 49ers for a third-round pick. And minutes later, trading defensive tackle, edge, Solomon Thomas to the Tennessee Titans for a seventh-round pick. This threw Twitter into a whirlwind. A lot of fans were unhappy and have been saying, what is going on in Dallas? Apart from not signing guys in free agency that us fans wanted them to sign, they are now trading away guys that are key to the team, depth pieces, starters, rotational guys, and fans are unhappy. I went on Twitter and I made this statement. I said the Dallas Cowboys did with Osa Odigizua the same thing that the Green Bay Packers did with Rashawn Gary. They probably traded a player that wasn't performing up to the contract, okay? And when I had the discussion with Green Bay Packer fans early on during the week, because I'm a big Rashawn Gary fan, I said that Rashawn Gary's a good football player. I like Rashawn Gary. And everything that they commented back was that he wasn't living up to the contract, okay? So Osa and Solomon Thomas traded away yesterday. And I started to get into a little bit of a back and forth with several folks on Twitter. And the one thing that I remained consistent on was that this is Christian Parker's doing. This is not necessarily a Jerry and Stephen Jones thing. This is Christian Parker having the authority to do with the roster as he wishes, right? And when you look at how the offseason has gone so far, okay, we as fans might not be happy because they didn't sign certain guys, all right? But I ask this, what if Christian Parker wasn't a fan of those guys that were available? What if they didn't fit his scheme that he's getting ready to unleash, okay? And what if he has a plan on players that he wants to see on his defense? Follow the signings, follow the trades, okay? He's bringing in certain players that fit certain schemes that have done certain things in the NFL. And if we were happy when Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer hired Christian Parker to be the defensive coordinator, we're ecstatic with the way he put his defensive staff together. We have to give the young man the opportunity to put together his defense. What we fall into as fans sometimes is we fall into the trap that we want the team to sign X player. But we don't realize that a staff, a team has thousands of hours of film. They have X amount of knowledge on all of these players, all of the background, and they know what they know. Now, if, again, we're going to trust and have a belief in Christian Parker, we have to give him the right to put his defensive team together, okay? Sure, we want the team to sign a big-name linebacker, right? But, again, like I've been mentioning, not every player wants to be a Dallas Cowboys. Not everybody in the NFL, because Jerry Jones calls them and says, hey, I'm offering you this contract, is happy-go-lucky about being a Dallas Cowboy. Case in point, look at Nakobe Dean. All the reports show that the Dallas Cowboys offered the same or a similar contract to Nakobe Dean that the Las Vegas Raiders offered. And Nakobe Dean chose to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's not the only player, folks. This happens more often than we think. But we think sometimes that just because Jerry's going to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm offering you $390 for 3, players are going to be like, oh, the Dallas Cowboys called me, I'm signing. That's not it. That's not how this thing works. Okay? Now, let's look at to what potentially can be happening in Dallas. I think a big move is coming. I think the Dallas Cowboys are getting ready to make a trade for either a linebacker or a defensive lineman. Okay? This morning, I reposted something that I posted weeks ago. I mentioned Josh Sweat as a possibility, right? Familiarity with Christian Parker and some of the guys on the staff now. Pay attention to Josh Sweat, okay? I'd love for the Dallas Cowboys to explore a Trayvon Walker kind of move, all right? Another player that I've mentioned is linebacker Nick Bolton. The Chiefs, they tend to not re-sign guys that they believe have a lot of wear and tear, a lot of mileage. Nick Bolton is somebody, all right? But if you look at the draft now, the board, okay, defensive tackle is definitely a position that we need to pay attention to. Peter Woods now comes into play. Caleb Banks comes into play. Caden McDonald comes into play now, all right? Look at their size, okay? 6'6", 327 for Caleb Banks, all right? 6'2", 326 comes into play now, right? And Caden McDonald, all right? But a defensive tackle that we need to pay attention to is Georgia defensive tackle Christian Miller. Why? The Georgia ties. Christian Parker, Philadelphia Eagles, right? The Philadelphia Eagles have been drafting players from Georgia repeatedly for the last 3 or 4 years. Pay attention to that. All right, Christian Miller, 6'4", 321 pounds, holds the point of attack. He's not pushed easily and is a game wrecker. Somebody else that I pay attention to, C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia. Okay, somebody's going to fall to 12. A player that we absolutely love is falling to 12. We're going to be happy at 12, but that 20th pick, defensive tackle comes into play. Pay attention to the Georgia Bulldogs and what they have to offer in the draft. Peace.